Hey guys, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host Tyler Funderburk. I have my co-host with me, Jake Phillips.
Co-host?
This week we saw Girl on a Train.
Yeah, we did.
This is actually the first time for this show that we've watched a movie together.
We sat there, we held hands. It was exactly like the Coke commercial that plays before the.
Oh my gosh, that's so cringeworthy. Please do not think he's being serious.
I took his hand and I put it right over me.
Well, our director was sitting between us, but yeah, you kind of being a little rude in the theater talking.
Okay, well, I have to get my opinions out.
Right, I knew as soon as I stepped in the theater, I was like, he's going to talk.
I'm a talker.
Okay, but so we thought it was not so good.
I didn't like it.
There were a lot of things, both in the acting, just in general, that we didn't like.
A lot of it fell flat.
But for like the cinematic properties of the film, we said that it was just disorienting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
It was
a lot of weird stuff happened.
Like the shutter speed, like using that. I guess it was to try to make you feel drunk.
Yeah, but I think it ended up breaking up the movie more.
Right.
Because you'd sit there and you'd kind of like start going along with the scene, and then something weird would happen, and you would be like,
right.
What just happened?
And it just, I don't know, like, you can use, like, techniques like that to achieve a certain tone or, like, an idea, but it just fell flat for me. Like, It just made me feel, like, really dizzy, sort of.
Yeah.
So, what score would you give it, you think?
I gave it just, like, a baseline 5.
Okay.
And the only reason I even give it a 5 is because they did a lot of close-up shots, like a ton of close-up shots, way more than you would think.
I think they probably had more than like any other film I've ever seen.
Yeah, but like we saw in Magnificent Seven, it's really hard, or it's not hard, but you can easily mess up close-up shots.
Right, and these were all done well.
And I felt like they actually paid attention.
And it was nice because it was mostly of Emily Blunt.
Yeah, and I don't mind being close up to her.
Yeah, me either. All right, so we hit it with a 6 for the plot.
Yeah.
This is based on a book.
Yeah.
So we still haven't seen an original idea
Not yet.
for a movie. We've
Not
seen
this fall.
Like 3 true stories and then one remake or something like that.
Yeah.
This was based on a book. And I wonder if like this movie gives it to you. It's kind of in like a Pulp Fiction type way. It's out of chronological order.
Yeah, and they did a poor job of letting you know where you were.
Where you were in time.
Yeah.
And I hate movies like that.
Yeah, because it flashed up like 4 days earlier, and I was like, wait.
That's like actually,
where were we?
That's actually like one of my big problems with Interstellar is that I don't know where I am in time. Okay, but.
Just bring it up every time we do a show.
I'm just saying, when a movie doesn't let you know where you are in time or space,
it was all relatively different.
I'm talking.
We went too far.
I'm talking about
off on a tangent.
I'm back on Girl on a Train now.
All right.
But I didn't really like the plot that much. I mean, it was okay for entertainment. What did we give it?
We gave it a 5 as well.
Okay, so I don't necessarily know if I would recommend for someone to see this movie.
I wouldn't. I think if you're looking for a movie that's like this, you pick up Gone Girl immediately.
Right, just I'd rather you buy the DVD for Gone Girl and have it
Spend
forever.
an extra $10, have a great movie forever, then spend like the $10.
It wouldn't be an extra $10. You gotta think popcorn, soda pop.
I mean, okay, if you're just buying the
Maybe
Blu-ray, it'd be like
icy.
$18.
Okay, all right, maybe that makes sense. I'm talking about all the accoutrements of going to the
theater. Oh yeah, just buy a
experience.
theater as well.
Or just you don't like some Milk Duds with your movie? Maybe like a nice cold slushy, some popcorn with that fake butter on it.
I like popcorn.
Okay. Well,
not Milk Duds.
I thought I was bored. I didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't there for me.
Okay.
I wasn't that entertained, and I wanted to be entertained, especially from like the trailers that I saw. I thought it was gonna be like a fun mystery, not a fun mystery, but like a good mystery, you know.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of people I talked to said that they were gonna see this movie, and I feel like a decent amount of them are gonna be disappointed.
90%.
90%. That's a high number. But
I'm
one
confident.
thing that we did say is the acting was average as well.
Very average.
I mean, there were some people, like, obviously Emily Blunt is, like, amazing. She's, like, a great actress.
She did a great job. But the rest were so subpar.
I've noticed she's got a trend. Not necessarily a trend, but she has a way of playing broken people very, very well.
Yeah.
I mean, those close-ups added with, like, her being just a great actress, she just played pathetic so well. Like, you felt really bad for her character multiple times throughout the film. And, I mean, I weep for her.
But I know, man. But other than that, her co-star, Haley Bennett, she was also a Magnificent Seven.
She was in McCullen. She's like the girl, right?
And I just don't think she's a very good actress.
That's in Magnificent Seven. It didn't require any depth. It was just like damsel in distress.
No, but this character was supposed to have a lot of emotional.
Right. We can't really go super into detail, mostly for spoilers, but also because it gets a little spicy.
Little. It's a good word to
use. There's some really corny lines, like maybe halfway through the film. Do you remember?
I know exactly what you're talking
it's just
about.
I couldn't bear it. She's not that great in my opinion.
No.
Justin Theroux did Justin Theroux. He played the dad in Leftovers.
Yeah, but he went. It was almost. I don't know if it was the direction or if he just kind of like took this on himself, but he went almost too far.
Oh, with like he was just. It was over the top.
Yeah.
It was a little like.
We can't tell you how over the top because
right, exactly.
That'll destroy the movie.
And then we also, for the other male lead, you had Luke Evans.
Yeah.
So he's been kind of popping off in Hollywood recently.
He has.
He seems like
he
he's
looks
in everything.
good. Look at him.
I mean, there's one like gratuitous like close up of his like Adonis line, like his little abs.
Yeah.
And I guess it was like showing that she was looking at him or something. Yeah. He's shredded.
He is.
But
I just thought he was gonna break out and do push-ups the whole time.
I mean, he's been in like Dracula Untold or something.
Fast and the Furious 6.
He was he wasn't Tom Buchanan. I can't remember.
I think he's a B-list actor.
Yeah, he's just. I mean,
he's a good face to have and everything.
He's been in a couple like action blockbusters, but I thought he did well in this. I mean, there was one scene where he legitimately scared me a little bit.
Yeah, he did an okay job, but still it was an okay job.
But for the most part, like the rest of the cast was pretty flat.
Yeah.
I mean, the supporting cast was just halfway through the film, she walks in on a scene, and I hear Jake from like 2 seats over say, "Man, I hate this girl's aesthetic."
She didn't look good. She had like a cowboy belt on and like a denim vest and a maroon. I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, and Lisa Kudrow plays like a businesswoman. And then you have the therapist and, like, the typical hard-boiled female detective.
Yeah.
She was very similar to that character in Gone Girl.
Yeah, I thought she was just the principal scolding me in the office the entire time I watched it.
Yeah, she was, I mean, not that great, in my opinion. We moved on to talk about the score.
Best part of the film.
It was really good. I mean, I wouldn't say... The one thing I do like about Interstellar is the score. One of the best scores of any.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Hans Zimmer.
Yeah.
But for this, it was decent. Some of it was actually pretty memorable. Like I could see myself.
It was like there was like one where it was all like out of tune piano playing.
Right.
And it was super eerie.
Yeah, I don't know, like.
So I thought I thought whoever did the score for this, I didn't look it up.
I mean, overall, that was, like, we gave it the highest score because it was, like, the best part of the film.
That was my favorite, because I had no qualms with it.
Right, exactly. I mean, it wasn't, like we said, like, Hans Zimmer level, but it was great, especially for how...
For the movie that
especially
it was
for how bad the movie was. So we hit it with the final score of 5.6.
Which... So that's all of our scores added up. That's the average of all of them.
The super score, as you call it.
And I think that's
I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's very
Sometimes,
accurate.
like, the super score comes out, and I'm like, no, like, I think it should be higher or lower. But I'd say it's not necessarily...
It is 0.6 above an average movie.
That's math. We're gonna move into talking a little bit about what's hot on TV.
Yes.
Westworld.
I think that is very hot on TV.
I really, really like it.
I want to say I really, really like it. Because I really like where it's going. I like the idea of it, but I was disappointed.
I mean, it was so cool. Like the mix between the dichotomy between like the cowboy western and then the robot.
Yeah,
futuristic.
no, it is an awesome concept. Michael Crichton, great job again writing this. But I think I wanted like a Netflix quality cinematic television show. And I thought HBO would be like, we should probably go that way because they're doing really well. But I thought it just wasn't there.
So you're saying it's just like not, it doesn't have as much like cinematic.
Yeah.
Okay, so like to compare it, like maybe like something like Stranger Things that we've seen on Netflix.
Yeah.
That was like an 80s Spielberg movie, something that you would almost see in a theater.
Yeah.
Compared to this, I mean, I agree with you for the most part on that. It wasn't super artsy. I just think I'm so in love with the idea of the show.
Yeah.
That I can get past some of the stuff like that.
But some of it, when you watch it, just you can tell it's a set rather than feeling like you're there.
Yeah, there was one really cool scene with the old Bill character between Anthony Hopkins and...
That was done really well. See, that's why I'm kind of disappointed because it was the basis of it being that cinematic was obviously there.
Yeah. So Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins,
yeah.
Ed Harris were like the standout two actors.
Those are the biggest names on there.
Right, and then there was some like people that I've seen before, but I'd be hard pressed to be able to normally tell you their name. Just like a bunch of B-listers, basically.
Yeah, I think James Marsden is in it. He plays one of the main characters.
I thought the brothel woman was Zoe Saldana, but apparently it's not.
It's not.
Okay.
It looks like it should be.
Don't they look very similar?
They look very similar.
But James Marsden, I thought he's done well too. He's basically...
Yeah, but I think he defines a B-lister.
Oh, like he's just not... I mean, I've never seen him lead in a movie, I don't think.
He's got a good look to him, you know?
I think he was in like a Nicholas Sparks movie with Michelle Monaghan recently.
And then he probably did a Nicholas Sparks movie, and it's just like, ever since then, it's kind of B-listing.
Okay, also, I kind of wanted to talk about Luke Cage.
Okay.
I've only watched one episode.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very stylistic. It's hard to explain. It's very like, it's almost something like Compton-esque. It's Harlem.
Yeah.
So that's a historically black neighborhood in New York.
Yeah.
And it's all based on like black culture, that type of stuff, which is refreshing to see. And we talk about that in shows like Atlanta, where it's nice to like maybe get a peek a little bit
into like not so much like almost like deeper than just what we get for stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean the Washington Post says it's basically like the best Marvel Netflix show, which that's gonna be hard to beat Daredevil season 2 for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I've seen so far, I really like it. I really like that he's sort of that street level fighter.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about the Marvel Netflix shows is that none of them are
obviously like the core characters they've picked have all been sort of.
None of them are like have a magic hammer or like fly around in a suit of armor or anything like that.
No, well, an Iron Man show would be horrible, I think.
Yeah, you can tell more like real stories that way, I feel like. Whereas like with the other thing is it's always like save the world.
Yeah.
Whereas for this it's more like save Harlem.
Yeah.
Or maybe save your block.
Exactly. But I mean, it's like the highest trending show on IMDb right now. A lot of people are talking about it. It's on the top of my watch list, but I haven't gotten there.
A lot of people have some really long watch lists, but
I'll put it up at the top right there.
Okay.
Well, maybe not the top.
Still gotta watch Wet Hot American Summer on Netflix.
You haven't even seen the movie, have you?
Yeah, no.
But that's like a good hour.
I've seen the first 3 episodes of the show.
You haven't seen the whole show either?
No.
Oh man, that's a funny show. A lot of Halloween costume ideas for that.
Moving on into movie news.
All right.
Patriots Day trailer came out.
I would like to talk about Patriots Day. Not so much Patriots Day, but the Patriots Day director. Because now this is his third movie that is going to be based on a true story that happened within the last 16 years. Within the last, 10 years.
What stories are you talking about?
So, he did Lone Survivor, which starred Mark Wahlberg. He just did Deepwater Horizon, which starred Mark Wahlberg. And now he's doing Patriots Day, which is about the Boston Marathon bombings. And I just think this is getting a little ridiculous. These are so soon. And we just watched Sully, where, I think my biggest qualm with Sully is how soon it was.
Yeah, this is this happened in 2013, right?
Yeah.
Long time, not long time ago.
3 years ago.
Very short amount of time. We like Batman.
I like a specific Batman played by Christian Bale.
I'm a pretty big fan of Batfleck, personally.
The Bat Dad?
I prefer Batfleck.
Alright.
But we recently got news
body.
that the new Solo film is coming out.
Yeah.
Titled The Batman.
Very original.
I feel like the reason they did that, they probably just wanted to name it Batman, but they couldn't, because was it the Val Kilmer, was he Batman when it was just Batman? Yeah. Or was it like the Tim Burton, George Clooney
One
Batman?
of them.
Yeah, one of the old, so they have to name it something different. And so they chose The Batman.
Well, The Batman, isn't that more towards the comic books?
Yeah.
Because I also feel like they always referred to him as the Batman.
Yeah, in the comic books, he's sort of referred to as it's almost like the Batman, the man who is a bat.
Yeah,
not
then
Batman.
And then at the end of Dark Knight Rises, when Gary Oldman's kind of narrating, he makes emphasis to call him the Batman, not Dark Knight Rises.
So I really liked.
Which one? Just the Dark Knight.
Is it? At the
when
end.
He's when Gary Oldman's narrating.
Right, about Harvey Dent and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So I really liked Justice League, not Justice League. Batman versus Superman. Sorry, it was.
You really liked it?
I really liked Batman in it. I didn't really necessarily like the movie. I
really didn't like it.
But I'm hoping Justice League turns out, and I think that there's potential for so even the parts where Batman was in Suicide Squad, it was really
it was 30 seconds.
But still, they were good. That's one of the best parts of the movie, right?
I guess.
So I'm kind of excited to see. I really think Ben Affleck shines when he directs and acts.
Yeah, I just hope Zack Snyder kind of starts to get away from it, because he really bothers me.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I've been really disappointed in everything that he's been involved in.
Yeah, with Zack, I know him personally. We went out to. Anyway, with Zack Snyder, he's the full creative force for the DC stuff. Whereas, on the other side, they have, Kevin Feige, who is a comic book nerd.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure Zack Snyder is, knowledgeable about
comics.
He's,
read a comic book, yeah.
But Man of Steel and, I don't know, just some of the decisions he makes.
I think they always they, make a full movie, and then he, comes in, and he's like, oh, no, I don't like this. And they're like...
I can agree with that.
And he's like, I'll pull my $100 million if you don't fix this. And you're like, oh, okay.
So I also wanted to talk about the Power Rangers trailer.
Oh yeah.
I was a huge Power Rangers
Huge fan of the Power Rangers.
I my parents probably spent $5,000 on Power Rangers.
There were so many fights that broke out in my house because of the Power Rangers.
And I just didn't even realize how bad the shows were back then.
Well,
no. They're just the choreographing is horrible.
And the sound mixing is bad.
Yeah, it's not. They never were that top tier, top tier of a show. But I like the toys. They were shiny. It was cool.
I liked the idea of fighting people.
But we saw this trailer, and I kind of wanted to see what you thought about it.
Well, I really like Power Rangers. I would really love a fantastic Power Ranger movie. I think it'd be awesome, but this doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I don't know. It reminded me a lot of Chronicle just from the trailer.
The jump scenes and everything,
and then
flying through the air and everything.
I don't know, it seemed like a teeny bopper movie, like a you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
exactly. And I just looking at the cast, like I know you can't always get an A-list cast,
Yeah.
but I don't think a bunch of kids who are doing like their first big movies are gonna be very good
Right.
at it.
I don't know why sometimes they'll spend so much money remaking.
It feels like it's gonna go like straight up the alley that like G.I. Joe did.
Yeah, I mean, from the trailer you can just see there's like such typical like cliche high school like scenes.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Girls bully other girl in bathroom.
Yeah,
Dad
I wouldn't be
yells at his
surprised if like
athletic
Michael
son.
Bay is involved and there's a bunch of explosions. And
I mean, there's still hope for it. It didn't necessarily look like it was going to be bad. It could be.
but if I go to see it, my hopes will not be high.
I mean, nothing's going to beat for me OG Mighty Morphin, but
Not a chance.
like that's OG Power Rangers in my opinion. But
Yeah.
hopefully something will turn out. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us in 2 weeks. In the meantime, stay super woke. I'll see you later.
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.